Imagine a world different from the one we know today, a world where each layer of fabric holds a universe of meaning. This is the world of ancestral cloaks, garments laden with symbolism, protected through the centuries, and fundamental to various ancient cultures. These cloaks were not simply clothes, they were emblems of identity, power, and spirituality that told deep stories, connected generations, and held meanings as complex as they were fascinating. Prepare to dive into a universe where each thread and embroidery reveals a secret, a lesson, a truth. Ancestral cloaks, as the name suggests, come from remote times, transcending cultures that often had no contact with each other, but shared an intrinsic understanding of the cloak as something more than a mere garment. These cloaks were often considered sacred objects, conferring status, protection, and above all, a spiritual connection with both ancestors and divine forces. We begin our journey in the deserts of ancient Mesopotamia, where the Sumerians wove cloaks that incorporated sacred symbols of protection and power. The garments were often adorned with depictions of gods, mythical animals, and geometric patterns that not only decorated but also protected the wearer. In Sumerian texts, we find references to kings and priests who wore these cloaks in ceremonies ranging from religious sacrifices to peace treaties. The cloak thus became an extension of the soul, a garment that covered both the body and the spiritual essence of the individual. Moving away from the Middle East, we now head to ancient Egypt, where pharaohs and priestesses wore cloaks decorated with symbols of power and eternity. Papyrus and hieroglyphs reveal that these cloaks were often imbued with magic, each thread woven with enchantments and blessings. The use of linen, a fabric considered pure and time-resistant, was not accidental. Linen symbolized longevity and continuity of life beyond death, something fundamental to the Egyptian mindset. The cloaks were also encrusted with jewels and precious stones, each chosen precisely to amplify the connection with the gods. In the Book of the Dead, it is common to find detailed descriptions of the cloaks worn by the deceased, believed to assist in the journey to the afterlife. Advancing to the Far East, particularly Imperial China, we find silk as the main material for cloaks. The cloaks worn by Chinese emperors were meticulously embroidered with dragons, one of the greatest symbols of power and wisdom in Chinese culture. Here, the cloak was a reflection of harmony between heaven and earth. Different patterns and colors represented specific qualities, such as courage, intelligence, and benevolence. The dragon cloak, reserved exclusively for the emperor, was not just an ornament, but a declaration of his position as the Son of Heaven and his role as a mediator between human and celestial realms. Now, taking a pause in Asia, we enter the heart of the African continent, in the ancient kingdom of Aksum, today part of Ethiopia. The Aksumite culture recognized the cloak not only as a symbol of dignity, but also of spirituality. The cloaks were often dyed with colors derived from local plants and minerals, each dye carrying specific symbolism. Red, for example, was the color of sacrifice and life, a direct connection with the earth and ancestral blood. The textures and patterns of the cloaks revealed stories and lineages, being used in initiation rituals and coronations. Each cloak symbolized a journey, a personal chronicle that integrated into the fabric of Aksumite culture and history. Let's move further west. Among the Celtic peoples of Europe, cloaks were made of wool and decorated with intricate braids and Celtic knots, representing eternity and the endless cycle of life and death. The Celts believed that the cloak was an extension of the warrior or priestess, carrying their essence and intention. They sewed spells and blessings directly into the threads, making them objects of great spiritual power. The cloaks were also seen as talismans that protected against both physical and spiritual enemies. During the Samhain festivals, it is believed that the cloaks helped druids communicate with the dead, a practice that underscores the importance of cloaks in Celtic culture as portals between worlds. Crossing the ocean to the Americas, we find the cloak in the Inca civilization, where it was essential to mark social status and connect individuals to the gods of the Andean pantheon. Woven with fibers from the vicuña, a sacred animal, the cloaks carried patterns depicting sacred landscapes, gods, and animals. The cloak was not only a symbol of the higher strata of society, but also an offering to the gods, serving as a tribute and a vehicle of blessings. In planting and harvesting rituals, the cloaks were used to invoke fertility and ensure good crops, once again highlighting the deep connection between daily life and the spiritual world. Moving forward to an archipelago in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, we find ourselves in Hawaii, where ancient Hawaiians crafted cloaks known as ahu'ula for their chiefs and warriors. Made with feathers from rare birds, these cloaks had vibrant colors and were symbols of mana, or spiritual power. The act of weaving feathers from sacred birds made each cloak incredibly valuable and imbued with an almost mythical power. Hawaiian chiefs considered these cloaks extensions of their own spiritual aura, donning them in rituals aimed at ensuring harmony between the islands and their inhabitants, both human and divine. Each of these cultures, through ancestral cloaks, emphasized the connection with the divine, the importance of lineage, and the need for spiritual and physical protection. These garments show us that humanity has always walked a path between the physical and the spiritual, demonstrating that clothing was, and still can be, a means of expressing a connection with something much greater. As we conclude this journey through different cultures, we realize that ancestral cloaks are a true book of wisdom and spirituality. They show how we are part of a larger tapestry, woven with tradition, faith, and values. And now it is up to each of us to reflect on what we wear, mentally and spiritually, and how it connects us to our own essence and to those who came before us. I want to thank each of you for accompanying me on this exploration of the hidden secrets of ancestral cloaks. May this knowledge enrich your journey and help you discover new ways to connect with ancestral wisdom. Continue to tread your paths with curiosity and reverence for the secrets of the past. Until next time.